Jordan Blue back with another video just for you, the college football fan. So if you are a college football fan, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. We all know it's a long off season, and I'm here to get you through it. You get to check out our Patreon page. A lot of time and effort going into that, and I call my Patreons the shot callers because I let them call 8 great writers led by our head writer Michael Walker. And today I'm going to be talking about the Jordan Addison. The saga continues. More teams are throwing their names into the hat of Jordan Addison. He's going to have a lot of choices. I thought his list was narrowed down to 3 teams. That's not so much anymore. He has a long list now, and I'm about to go through it. First things first though, Pitt not happy that Jordan Addison entered the transfer portal. It was all of a sudden, nobody saw it coming, and Pat Narduzzi, the head coach of Pitt, is very mad at Lincoln Riley, straight up accusing him of tampering, which he actually may have well done. But that doesn't matter because tampering is legal. There's nothing you can do about it. So he's saying that Jordan Addison used the transfer portal in the wrong way, saying that Lincoln Riley enticed him to join the transfer portal through money, but Kedon Slovis did it the right way. Yeah, somebody explain that one to me. So you're telling me that there was no money involved with Kedon Slovis coming to Pitt? Right. So let's move on from the crybaby that is Pat Narduzzi, the head coach of Pitt, and talk about the list of Jordan Addison. First of all, we still have to talk about Pitt. He could stay at Pitt, and Pitt is number 42 in the transfer portal. They haven't done great, but they are trying to match any offer given to Jordan Addison to keep him at Pitt. Will it be enough? I'm not sure. And maybe Jordan Addison sees the writing on the wall because I'm hearing a lot of complaints that Kedon Slovis is not looking good at Pitt. The news gets better and better for West Virginia fans. I'm feeling really good about the backyard brawl right now. Next up, and new to the list, Tennessee. That's right, Tennessee is being talked about as a possible destination for Jordan Addison. Now, Tennessee is number 43 in the transfer portal, so not all that great as far as using the transfer portal, but from what I'm hearing, they are going all in on Jordan Addison. And Tennessee does have a pretty good quarterback. What are you talking about, going blue, dude? They have Hendon Hooker. I'm telling you, he's a pretty good quarterback. Listen to these stats from last year. 206 for 303, that's 68%. Threw for 2,945 yards, 31 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions. And he's good with his legs. 116 carries for 616 yards, that's 3.7 yards a carry, and 5 touchdowns. So he would have a decent quarterback at Tennessee. And Tennessee's going to throw a lot of money towards Jordan Addison. Next on this list, a surprising name, Nebraska. Yes, I'm hearing about Nebraska. And they've done fairly decent in the transfer portal themselves. Number 12. They've got the 4-star defensive end Mathis, the 4-star cornerback Tommy Hill, and they have a great quarterback prospect in Chuba Purdy. And I'm hearing that Nebraska has a pretty good backing when it comes to the NIL. They've really stepped up their game when it comes to the NIL. So Nebraska might actually be able to compete with the money. I'm hearing some decent things about Casey Thompson, but I'm not quite sold on him. And I know Nebraska went 3-9 last year, but they were possibly the greatest 3-9 team of all time, losing all but one of their games by 1 possession. And the only game that they didn't lose by 1 possession was to Ohio State by 9 points. So they're close to being great. Next up on this list, LSU. Why? Well, why not? Right now, they're number 3 in the transfer portal, and they have new head coach Brian Kelly, who's working the transfer portal pretty good. So far, they got 4-star quarterback Jaden Daniels from Arizona State, 4-star cornerback Bernard, 4-star defensive lineman Wingo, 4-star cornerback Brooks Jr., 4-star safety Fucha, 4-star offensive tackle Frazier. So LSU has some good pieces in place, and Jordan Addison could be the center of that rebuilt offense. And of course, we all know that LSU has big money. Next up on this list, Ole Miss. It's the same situation with LSU. Why not? And they're doing well in the transfer portal. Number 2. So far, they gotten 4-star defensive end Ivy, 4-star tight end Pigs, 4-star tight end Trigg. So they got 2 4-star tight ends. 4-star linebacker Brown, 4-star offensive tackle Brooks, and 5-star quarterback Jackson Dart. And we all know that Lane Kiffin focuses on offense. So Addison would be a big target at Ole Miss and would have big numbers at Ole Miss. So the combination of money and big numbers might be enough for Jordan Addison to decide Ole Miss. Next up on this list, Miami, the Canes, and even Miami fans are talking about this. Miami's a real option, and right now they're number 8 in the transfer portal, and the biggest name that they've gotten so far is 4-star defensive end Hakeem Mesdor from West Virginia. I'm still not happy about it, but it is what it is. And Miami still has a lot of money that they could throw Jordan Addison's way. And Mario Cristobal has Miami fans very excited right now. There's a lot of buzz around Miami. That could be a destination for Jordan Addison. Think about that, completely flipping the coastal, going from Pitt to Miami. I actually like it. That would be hilarious. Next up on this list, Oklahoma. They've done pretty well in the transfer portal. Number 4 overall. They've gotten 4-star defensive lineman Johnson, 4-star defensive line Laula, 4-star linebacker Mature, and also 4-star quarterback Dylan Gabriel. So Jordan Addison would have a pretty good quarterback at Oklahoma. And Oklahoma does have a new coach in Brent Venables. Now, he will focus more on the defense, but that's not a bad thing. That means pressure will be taken off the offense. Jordan Addison looking to go to a team where there's no pressure on the offense and he can put up big numbers. And oh yeah, Oklahoma does have money. Next up on this list, South Carolina. Yeah, South Carolina, another SEC team on this list. And they're number 7 in the transfer portal. And I think South Carolina's going to be much better this year. So far, they've gotten 4-star wide receiver Wells, 4-star safety Reed, 4-star tight end Stogner, and 4-star quarterback Spencer Rattler. And Shane Beamer has South Carolina headed in the right direction. The only issue is, would South Carolina be able to meet the money that Jordan Addison would require? I'm not so sure about that, but he would definitely be the star of that offense and a decent quarterback in Spencer Rattler. Don't judge Spencer Rattler strictly on last year. Oklahoma had a terrible offensive line. Look at what he did the year before when they had a good offensive line. So South Carolina is more like a dark horse destination for Jordan Addison. Next up on this list, Texas. They have a lot of money, so why would they not be on this list? And so far, Texas is number 9 in the transfer portal rankings for 2022. So far, they've gotten 4-star wide receiver Hall, 4-star tight end Billingsley, 4-star wide receiver Nayer, and 5-star quarterback Quinn Ewers. So Jordan Addison will actually have some help on offense as far as fellow good wide receivers. I think Texas could match any money that's thrown at Jordan Addison, but would he be willing to take a chance on Steve Sarkisian? I mean, Texas went 5-7 last year. I don't know about that. That would definitely be rolling the dice. Next up, the last 2 names on the list. And the first one, Alabama. They're actually doing pretty good in the transfer portal, number 5 overall. So far, they've gotten 4-star wide receiver Harrell, 4-star wide receiver Burton, 4-star offensive tackle Steen, 4-star running back Gibbs, 5-star cornerback Ricks, and of course the Nick Saban factor. And I think if Jordan Addison does go to Alabama, he would be guaranteed to win a national championship. That's a big draw. And of course, we all know that Alabama has big money. That's not going to be an issue here. But with so much talent at Alabama, his numbers could be kind of tapered a little bit. I'm not saying he'd have bad numbers, but he could have bigger numbers going somewhere else if he was the focus of a very good offense. But I still think that Alabama is a big-time destination and high probability for Jordan Addison. And finally, the last name, and we already know what it is, and that's USC. And they're already number 1 in the transfer portal this year. And new head coach Lincoln Riley has definitely figured out how to use the transfer portal. He is literally rebuilding USC right now through the transfer portal. So far, they've gotten 4-star linebacker Gentry, 4-star running back Dye, 4-star quarterback McCutcheon, 4-star wide receiver Williams, 4-star wide receiver Rice, and 5-star quarterback Williams. People forget USC has big-time donors and big-time Hollywood money. Money is not a problem here. USC is probably going to set the tone as far as the offer for Jordan Addison, and other teams will probably have to match. That's why I have USC at the top of the list, but don't count out these other teams. And if you look at the list, 5 out of the 11 teams that I mentioned, SEC teams. So there's a decent probability that Jordan Addison could actually end up in the SEC. Y'all let me know in the comments section what you think about this list and the probability of Jordan Addison going to each of these destinations. I look forward to the comments section on this one. I think it's going to be all over the place. And that's the way I like it. That's all I got for you for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.